This is a Headgum podcast.
Oh my goodness, Mr. P. Can you believe vacation season is nearly upon us this year?
No, you don't understand. I'm freaking out about it. Like, I feel good about it. I feel ready, but it's like, are you ever really ready for vacation season? Like, no, and I guess that's just something you have to come to accept.
Well, especially it's like, how do you even prepare for vacation season? And sometimes it's like, okay, do I prepare by getting a first class quality suitcase at an economy price tag from Quince?
I know. Or like maybe something, have you ever heard of lightweight European linen styles from $30? Washable silk tops and comfy lounge sets. That's what I'm talking about. And the best part is that all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Think of a similar brand right now. Okay, now think of Quince being priced 50 to 80% less than that brand that you're holding in your mind's eye.
I know how you go absolutely bananas for those washable silk tops. And
Totally.
you know what I go bananas for?
Guilty, not beating those allegations.
I go banana-ninas for partnering directly with top factories, which cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us, me and Mr. P. Plus, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I love that.
I have the most amazing suitcase that I use for my carry-on that I got from Quince. It's so chic. It's nice and spacious, but still fits nice and neatly in that overhead bin that we're all throwing elbows and fighting for our lives to get space in that bin sometimes, you guys.
Throw your hands in the air.
Like you just don't care.
Totally. Well, y'all know that I'm absolutely going bananas, shaking my head around and eating bananas for my Quince mini silk skirt. So for your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/seektreatment for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/seektreatment to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/seektreatment.
Hey bitch, what is your whole deal? Hey bitch, just tell us how you feel. You wished for a sign from above. Well, here's a podcast about boy sex, fucking, dating, and love. Seek treatment if you're boring as fuck. Seek treatment if you're unlucky in love. Seek treatment if you just can't take a hint. Well, seek treatment with Kat
And Pat.
Hey.
Hi.
We do a little intro, but leave that in.
Keep this in. This is Kat.
And Pat, and this is Seek Treatment,
a
a
podcast
about
boys, sex, fucking, dating, and love.
I hate to say that in front of Carol. And
We're live in the studio. We're live in the studio with an
absolute
icon.
legend of Screen Stage and Final Draft Pro, Carol Leifer.
Welcome, Carol, to Seek Treatment. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good, and thank you for your patience with me logging on. You should know,
That was
someone
quick.
of my age, it's not easy for me to do things that young people clickety-clack in there. Not me.
These things are really hard for us too. We're not really of our time. We really struggle.
Yeah.
Really?
And
We're
Okay.
old souls and that we suck at tech.
And we've been doing this podcast for a million years.
Since 1993.
And we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to do it. Every comment we have is like, your audio is so bad, but we just do our best.
And we
You
have
do
fun.
your best. Yeah.
Isn't that what
Wait.
what do you think life's all about, Carol?
Life is all about what someone just said on this podcast. Doing your best.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say life was all about boys, sex, fucking, dating, and love.
Leave out the boys, and I'm
I know.
down with it.
Okay, we have
Totally.
to get into everything. Okay, first of all, so me and Carol met in the Hacks writers room.
Yes,
And I'm so obsessed with you. You've lived such a life. Don't you feel that way?
I do. I really do.
Oh.
I have lived such a life. Sometimes I look back on it and I go, yeah, wow, this is
Yeah.
quite a life.
You've
Because
worked on everything cool. And do you think things are even cool anymore?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
look, working on Hacks was a
I
dream
know, but
come
that's
true.
like the only show.
And also, and like Jill Zarin, you started off as just a humble girl from Long Island.
Oh,
Wow.
what part of Long Island are you from?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought, yeah,
No,
but
no.
right, you're from Long
Pat's
Island.
from Long Island.
I'm from Long Island, but I said like
Yes.
Jill Zarin, and Jill Zarin's
Oh,
from
Jill Zarin.
Woodmere. Yeah.
I like that very quickly into our convo, you're
Yeah.
using Real Housewives.
I know I have to.
Yes,
Of
because we
course.
shared that on our downtime in the Hacks room.
Yes. And you just wrote a book, How to Write a Funny Speech for a Wedding, bar mitzvah, graduation, every other event you didn't want to go to in the first place. But you've written like a billion books, haven't you?
This is my third, but
Yeah,
this is
that's
the
a
first one
billion.
that I co-wrote because it was during the strike, and as you know, we weren't allowed to work on TV shows.
Of course.
So
And that's I don't know that's the only reason I don't have a show right now. Is like I was dying to do all my
Same.
pilot ideas during the strike, but I just had
Same.
to sit on my hands and
I
let
know.
all my millions of ideas just kind
He
of
was held at
go away.
gunpoint. He was
Yeah,
held at gunpoint.
because you know me, I wake up, it's a show idea. I'm walking down the street, it's a show idea,
Yes.
show idea,
Exhausting.
show idea, show it. It's my whole life is getting these show ideas.
you are a fountain of show ideas. You are. So what happened during the strike, as you know, a lot of people called it picketing. I called it marching. And so it was a lot of marching and a lot of coffees with friends. So I got together with my friend, Rick Mitchell, who wrote for Ellen's talk show for 6 seasons. And we'd both come back from weddings where people, can I say this, shit the bed
Yeah, you can
100%.
certainly see shit the bed here.
with their speeches. And we were like, you know what? It's not that hard to tell people how to give a good speech and even a funny speech. So we got together and we just laid it out.
Yeah. What do you
love
think?
that.
It's like just talk and be real. It's like when you're
But
giving a
people
speech,
can't do that, Pat. People can't.
it's such
No.
a gift to be able to be real. Like thank God
You
we have
know-
it.
Thank God. I went to a wedding. I feel like this is trend now. People make the speeches all about them. I go, it's about the person.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kat. Yes.
It's about
That's
the person.
one of the rules of speech giving that we give. Like, it's not about you, dummy.
Yeah.
It's about whoever you're celebrating. But also, there are very 101 things that people don't know, like keep it 5 minutes and under.
I know. That's the biggest thing.
It's
It's like I'm always
crazy.
in this speech, I'm always Lala at Katie's engagement party and running from rules screaming, wrap it up, wrap it up. Like wrap it up. Like
Yeah.
as soon as you remember you're giving a speech, it's time to start wrapping it up. Like
Exactly.
you don't like break through that wall and be like, oh, I'm giving a speech. Okay, let me push through and give even more of a speech. Never push through. Like let
No.
it go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people think that. They think, oh, I care so much about this person that I like that length equals caring, which we
Yeah.
know in many aspects of life does not really come true.
Totally. and
Length is
also,
not caring.
and it's like at the end of the day, everyone sort of just wants it to be over. Like, and when they're like, oh my God, that was an amazing speech, they meant like that was painless and we all got through it. And like you stood up, you said words, and now no one's like, wow, like that kind of reframed life for me. Thank you so much. Like it's never gonna be that. Do you know what I mean?
And
You're
also,
never-
the speeches come before the food. And so you're sitting there and you're getting hangry and you want
Yes.
to kill everyone who's up there speaking. So stuff like that, I
Yeah,
was surprised that people don't know.
I gave a speech at my brother's wedding because I was the best man, despite being an out and proud, unapologetically homosexual man. And absolutely slaughtered was so good.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
So how much
Yeah.
did you prepare?
Like, I'm always kind of giving, how you're like kind of always giving speeches in your head. I'm always like walking around the park and pretending I'm like orating to people. Is that a common experience? I always feel like I'm,
It is a sign of like intense mental illness, but it is common.
well, something that happened.
There's medication for that.
Yeah. Well, something that happened to me, and I'm like, do I even say this publicly? Like, because I've been watching Love on the Spectrum, and a couple of my friends were like, you act just like those people sometimes. And so and one of them sent me an online quiz, and the online quiz found me quite autistic. So
I can
now
see that.
I'm like, am I on it? And should I go on the show? Carol, do you watch do you watch Love on the Spectrum?
I don't, but you know how many people have told me that I do need to watch it?
It's unbelievable.
It's heaven.
It
Really?
really
It's so
simplifies things.
pure.
It's like we're all on this earth doing our everything that you beat
Doing our
yourself up
best.
with.
Doing
our
best.
Doing our
Bob,
best.
who's your
That's the other thing-
favorite?
That's the other thing about Carol. She always sings things.
Me too,
Doing
Carol.
our
Literally, me too.
best.
Doing our best.
My favorite is probably Connor and Georgie. Like
Of course, the goddess. Wait, Carol, who's your best friend in the Hacks room besides Pat?
Oh, wow. I would have to say probably Guy Branum.
yes.
Oh, love
Yeah.
guy. Another
Yeah.
Former
alum of the
guest on this-
pod.
former
Another
guest on
alum.
this pod. Yeah.
You're in good
nice.
company, girl.
Yeah.
So, Carol, I want to get into your full journey. On this podcast, we generally ask one question.
Okay.
Who were
Who were you?
Who are you? And who do you
Okay.
want to be?
Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Who was I?
Like, who were you in high school? Who was Carol Leifer in high school?
You know what? In high school, I was, popular.
You were
Yeah,
popular.
I was. Yeah. I mean, I
What
was,
kind?
well, like, I was into sports and became
Which-
a lesbian. Oh, didn't see
Yeah.
that connection. Field
What-
hockey team.
You've been
Oh my-
warned. You've been warned, team. Mothers America.
But I was in sports and I was a cheerleader and I
But
had
I'm a cheerleader, another
Yes.
lesbian indicator.
could be, yeah. And then
Could be.
and I was good in school, not a, I couldn't get into an Ivy League school, but I did well. What I notice now as a parent, like when I was growing up, I had to do well in school because my parents would have killed me if I didn't do well in school. Kids don't have that anymore. They don't give a shit how you feel about how they do. It doesn't matter. But so yeah, but also like the cheerleaders did a sketch every year they called it the Varsity Review. And it
Oh my
always
God.
sucked. It was bad. But I feel like when I came on the cheerleader squad, I was like, guys, we gotta zhuzh this up. And we don't want everybody going, oh, the cheerleaders do, a shitty sketch. So we did, when I was cheerleader, we did good sketches. And I felt happy that I kind of led that charge.
Totally. You revamped the
And
cheerleader
that's when the
sketch
bug
show.
bit. Is that when the
Yeah.
bug bit?
That's it. I got bugged before that.
Yeah.
Like, even when
My daughter has been bugged by the cheerleaders.
Hello?
And it wasn't by the cheerleader sketch show. It happened before. She was acting weird. She was acting weird before the cheerleader sketch show. So how did you... Was Seinfeld your first thing? Or were you doing a lot of Like, when did you start doing stand-up?
I started doing stand-up, probably one of your first guests that will say this in 1977, kids.
We've had a lot of people from that 77 class of
Really?
stand-up.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
no,
An
no.
auspicious year.
Happy to say it. Yeah, so, I was in college and I went to school with Paul Reiser and he was in my theater group and he was funny. And it's like, oh, I go down to Manhattan in the summers and I go on these open mic nights at comedy clubs and I
Oh
didn't
my
even know what a
God.
comedy club was. And I went down my junior year of college and I did my open mic night. And that night that I went on with Paul Reiser was at the Comic Strip, which is a club that's still there. And Jerry Seinfeld was the MC and he put us through the audition. So I go back to my
Wow.
first day of show business other than cheerleading with Jerry Seinfeld. So
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And who
Do you
was
remember
Je-
what you talked about your first time you ever got
Yeah.
on
oh,
stage?
totally. Yeah. I had some, my jokes weren't terrible. I had a joke then that I could kind of even do now if they still do. Remember that commercial Trident gum, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend
Yeah,
Shields gum
yeah.
for their patients to chew gum. The joke was like, who's this 5th guy? You know?
Yes.
What's he recommending?
I know. He's like,
Literally,
it
what
doesn't,
is
it
his
doesn't work.
deal?
It doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Negative
like that.
Nancy.
Right.
Now,
But you know, Pat, as a stand-up, we talk a
and
lot.
Catherine's a very good stand-up as
Oh,
well.
oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about things that annoy us. And we're
Yes.
very good, you know, catchers of things that annoy us. And then we want to tell the audience and see that if it annoys them too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stand-up.
Yes. What an
That's so
interesting way
true.
to think about it. That's actually helpful. And who is Jerry Seinfeld in 77? Like, what was his kind of stature? Like, were you like scared shitless, or he was just kind of doing mics around
Here's
New
what's
York?
crazy about him. He had only been doing it a year more than us, but he was like the big mocker over at the comic strip, but not in a shitty way. I mean, he
Yeah.
was, you know, he wanted to discover good comedians and was encouraging and all that. But he was definitely someone to reckon with. And, you know, in those days, the thing that I remember the most about him was, you know, as a comedian, and all day we would just fuck off. It was just
Yeah.
screwing around. I mean, now as a comedian, you have to social media and
I
getting yourself
know.
out
I
there,
know.
and it's probably exhausting. But back then, you just kind of waited until your spot at 8:10 at the comic strip.
Heaven.
But whenever we would all hang out and just screw around, he would always say, "I need to go back to my apartment and write for an hour."
Wow.
So he always
Yeah.
had that great work ethic and always strived to do his best.
Oh,
Yes.
bringing
And
it
you know,
back.
Going back to the theme, call back.
We're always
Call
going
back.
back. We're always going back. And also, like, something you said, I'm like, that should be the title of either. I was like, I want to either write the title of my book or put it on my tombstone, which is
What
just
was it?
my jokes weren't terrible.
That's a really good title.
I love
My-
that.
My
Wow.
jokes weren't terrible.
Yeah.
It's either a book title or a tombstone like thing that it says.
Yeah.
Jokes weren't terrible. Oh my God, that's so good. If you don't take that, I am, Pat.
You can have it. You said it first. You said
It's
it first.
fantastic.
If you're a renter and I'm a renter, like people, a lot of big movers and shakers are renters. Me, Catherine, you know, a lot of people like us are
A lot of people in
actually
our industry are
renters.
actually renters.
Renters, yeah. We're your favorite renter's favorite renter. And so what I want to say, if you too are a renter, you should be taking advantage of Built. We rack up points on groceries, travel, and nearly everything else. So why not on your biggest monthly expense? With Built, paying rent finally pays off.
There's no cost to join. And just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock 2 powerful benefits. Hit us with the benefits, Pat.
First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your cities.
Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary post-workout shakes, free mats or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, oh my goodness, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent, for once, is literally taking you places.
So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? Start paying rent through Built and take advantage of your neighborhood benefits by going to joinbuilt.com/seek treatment. That's joinbilt.com/seek treatment.
And make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/seek treatment to sign up for Built today.
That's interesting. So a couple of things. One, it's like that I don't think of it as work ethic, but like I have to be so regimented about time, and or else it just all melts away and like nothing happens and whatever. And it's actually gotten in the way of a lot of relationships and friendships. And like I do think that, but that's one of the things that made my friends send me the autism
Yeah, well, I've
quiz.
managed to have many relationships and friendships, but I can't get anything done.
It's impossible to have both unless
You
you're
can't
Jerry.
have both.
But
Are
And-
you a
see,
routine person, Carol?
oh, I definitely have a routine for sure.
Can you
And
share?
yeah, I mean,
With a class.
and I think as I get older, you get more needing a routine. I don't know if you saw a recent Kardashian episode. I believe it was the season finale where Kris Jenner leaves the RV in the middle of the night because she's like, no way, I need my own bed. And they were saying, I need my coffee in the morning. That is very much that type of person and a person of my generation. Because
Totally.
you need your routine. Like I get up, I get up the same time every weekday.
What time, can I ask?
6:55.
So
That's
early,
a perfect, but that's a
Carol.
perfect time because it's like you're before, you have a second to collect yourself and still be before. When you wake up at 7, all of a sudden at 7:15,
Yes.
6:55, you have a real shot to like be someone before 7. To get out of bed, like throw some water on your face and be like, okay, what
Wow.
are we kind of up against today?
Right. But I'm assuming that both of you, do you have a set time that you get up? Because that's something that I think is unusual.
I do.
Oh,
You
I'm
do?
rolling out. I'm rolling out at 11:30.
Wow.
But I'm working late, Carol. I'm working late.
Yes. You're allowed.
Yeah.
Look,
Let me
yes.
have it.
Come on.
I'm a morning person. I was, I've been on this kind of fitness journey for a little while, and I was doing the gym every day at 7:15. And so when I was going to the gym every day at 7:15, I would wake up every day at 6:36.
Oh.
But then,
What was the extra minute for?
because it was literally this. Okay, it started at 6:30, but it's like this.
6:36 is the actual time. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And but then what happened was I was like, when you're lying in bed and you're counting the hours of sleep you'll get, like it
Yeah.
would be like 11:20, and I'd be like, I have to fall asleep in the next 10 minutes or I'm getting under
Right.
7 hours.
Right.
But just that extra 6 minutes, it just allowed me to relax a little bit more. It was like
That
6, and I was like,
cushion.
and I could still get to the gym on time, but I just have it. It was more on the other end, like with going to sleep. It's like I have 6 extra minutes to accomplish the goal of falling asleep, which could be huge.
Okay,
That's
so Carol,
really interesting.
it's 6:55. What's next?
And then I watch the first 15 minutes of the Today Show.
Amazing.
You do like daytime talk, don't you?
I do like daytime talk, but I know this sounds crazy, but maybe not because it's the secret of people who get paid a lot on network shows. I like Savannah Guthrie and I like Toda. Now I like Craig Melvin very much, who replaced Toda. It feels comforting to me to have the same people every morning. But at 7:15, Kat, I changed the channel to KTLA because they do an entertainment segment, and I like to be in the know.
So that's the secret. What's the secret of people who get paid a lot?
The people who get paid a lot.
What's the secret?
Yeah. But you said like it's a thing of people who get paid a lot.
Well, I don't think I'm the only person that loves Savannah Guthrie.
Oh,
And
I don't know who that
used to
is.
her. You
I don't know who that
don't?
is. No, but
I
I don't
don't
know.
either. I feel
God.
bad.
We don't know who anyone is on this podcast. I know, but we're just very plugged out.
But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think that younger people, and you are younger people to me.
And to a lot of people, Carol. To a lot of
Maddie,
people.
there's a huge community. There's a huge,
Yes.
robust community of
I
people.
know.
That agrees that we're still young.
Yes.
Did you
But
know I'm
you
gonna make-
don't watch TV. You don't watch regular TV like I've been
No.
used to for a million years.
I know, but TV did raise me. Like I was a true TV kid. Like watched it 24. I guess as soon as I got home from school, turned the TV on and watched it till like 10 o'clock at
What
night.
would you watch? What was your go-to show?
Well, in high school and stuff, it would be like, I would turn on MTV when I got home and it would be like TRL, which was like a music video request show. And then
Mhm.
MTV would always have like these kinds of like bizarre dating shows. Like there was Room Raiders where like the next
Room
Raiders
Raiders.
was very
Oh.
Date
exciting.
My Mom.
Room Raiders was like
Wow.
Room Raiders was like a van of people would pull up to a teen or 20-something's home and kidnap them into the van. Then a
When you
perspective.
could do that.
Anyway,
Yeah,
back
yeah,
again.
they don't let
Back
you do
again.
anything anymore.
And then they would have one kind of hot, like it would be like one hot guy or one hot girl. Say it's a hot girl. They would kidnap these 3 guys from their rooms, and then the girl would get to go in and look around their room without seeing them and like see if they were messy, and they would do a black light test on their sheets to see if they were like doing weird stuff. And then like she would then, after seeing their rooms, decide a show. But my favorite show,
It was always about how much cum was on everything. That's the only, that's the all that was discussed. I remember.
But my
I was like,
favorite-
oh my God.
Yeah.
my favorite of the MTV dating shows was called Date My Mom. And it was like about, like, basically, like, there was a guy who was going to go on 3 dates. But he was going on the dates with the girl's mom, and the mom was trying to sell her daughter. So like he would go like to a goat farm with like the mom, and they would like do a petting zoo. And the mom would be like,
Crazy.
my daughter is amazing at mathematics. She's a bright cookie, and she's pretty gorgeous, if I say so myself. And then like the mom would come home and be like, he's gonna love you. I really talked you up. And then based on the moms, the guy would make his choice. And the end of every episode was in this like bizarre parking lot on a beach where like where the guy was standing with all the moms who were now in evening wear. And then the guy would announce one by one who he didn't pick and like said, and he was like, Donna, I'm sorry, but what you said about your daughter having a messy room just is a deal breaker for me. So I don't choose your daughter. And then a limo would pull up with that daughter, and the mom would be like, well, Steve, you missed out. Meet my beautiful daughter, Jennifer.
Oh my God.
And then the daughter would get out in like a prom dress and go stand next to her mom. It was so good.
Did the guys ever pick the mom? Like
Never, but that would have been, I'm sure
that would have
MTV
been. Yeah.
There was always a
Yeah.
heavy
Little-
undercurrent of the son,
Yes,
the
there
kids wanting
was,
to
like,
fuck the mom.
There
There
was
was a
definitely
statutory vibe to it.
yes, a statutory subtext.
Mhm.
And
that.
and
Now,
then like
Kat, what would you? Do
Yeah.
you want to keep going about
no,
the
no, no,
date
no,
remote?
no, I'm all done. I'm all
Oh,
done.
okay,
Do you want to
'cause
keep
you're
going?
on a roll.
I'm going to use
You're
that,
on a roll
Carol,
with it.
when I'm podcasting with him. Sorry, do you want to keep going or can I jump in here? Do you want to keep going?
What was your go-to show, Kat, when you were?
Similar stuff, but I was only allowed to watch that when my parents weren't around. When I remember getting home from school and it was Full House, Seventh Heaven, ABC Family, all those shows would just be like playing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
as
Seventh
well.
Heaven.
The
Seventh
classic.
Heaven.
And
It was
anything with the
so good.
Olsen twins, they really raised me.
But can I say something about Seventh Heaven?
Sure. It's your podcast.
Here's the thing. Okay, so we all know, the dad. Carol, do you know the dad from Seventh Heaven? You know what happened?
I do know that because he lived next door to my father-in-law.
No.
Yes.
You're-
Yes.
Wait, Lori's father?
Yes.
Where is Lori from?
She grew up in Brentwood.
Oh wow. Okay. So I want to get into that. But like
So Lori's your
also
wife?
Yes.
So her father lived next to the disgrace. What was he?
I
What did he
know.
do?
Steve
but-
Collins.
yeah, but-
Maybe.
For what it's worth, he was a great neighbor. He was very nice, lovely, didn't do anything untoward.
Well,
He
you
was-
can't. Well, you can't if you have that kind of skeleton in your closet. You have to be so nice because what if people don't like you and are after? It's like, you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Scary.
I know.
But anyway, Seventh Heaven was a popular show, but it's not like this person was like But you know how a documentary will like do itself a disservice by trying to distort things to make them more than they are.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a documentary about that guy, and all the talking heads were like, I mean, he was it. He was Hollywood. He was the guy. He was America's dad. And I was
America's
like, no,
Dad is
he
a big
wasn't. Like
one.
no one really knew who he was. Like it was just like we did
Okay,
because
yes,
we watched
we
Seventh
did.
Heaven.
Yes, we did.
But they were acting like he was Beyonce doing world
Totally.
tours, and that this was like he was too big to fail, and like we can't believe we finally brought him down. It was like, okay,
Well, that was in the pitch meeting because the people were sitting there like, I don't know.
Right.
Was he really big enough to do it? I'm telling you, he was America's dad. And then, oh, okay, maybe.
all
Yeah,
right,
okay.
it's a good hook.
Wait,
Wait,
so
so-
to circle back to your journey, so you're doing
Yeah.
stand-up, you're in New York. How did that
Right.
transition into being a full-fledged Hollywood TV writer?
Hollywood TV writer. Well, I had gotten a writing job on SNL.
Oh, wow.
Oh right, I forgot
Casual.
about that chapter.
But
A
I had
Million
one
Lies.
step in that and one step out. I really wanted to do stand up. So I went back to doing stand up. But then, of my generation of comics, it was like you did New York and then you had to move to Hollywood. Then you had to
Yeah.
move to LA because it was
Yeah.
like getting on the Tonight Show. It was all no self promotion. It was all people seeing you, the right people to get to the next spot.
Yeah.
So I moved to LA and, I've been a convert ever since. I mean,
you love it
Kat,
here.
You adore
I
it.
love it here. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was raised in New York, and I have that New York DNA, the hey, I'm walking here,
Yes, you were.
that whole vibe. But what happened was just really kind of a quirky thing. I remember, and I know Larry David from when I auditioned at Catch Rising Star, and
Wow.
he put me through after my audition night. I remember getting a call because we were friends from Larry and Jerry together, which, in 1993, when you started your podcast,
Thank you. Thank you.
when you started it, I remember getting a call from both of them. And, at that time in 93, it was one of those landline, okay, I'm on, pick up the other phone,
Yeah.
and they both got on and they were like, do you want to write for Seinfeld? And I was like, yeah. And what the advantage was that I had was literally that I'd never written sitcoms before. They wanted people who'd never, Larry kind of thought of it as, spoiled by the system. They were not good writers, and he wanted people who'd never done it before. So the fact that I'd never done it before got me this amazing job.
So cool.
Wow. And
Yeah.
did you still it was interesting. I always think about my relationship to stand up and TV writing and being on screen and just the whatever the intersection is of those three things. And sometimes now with my stand up, I can't tell if I'm I definitely miss it when I don't do it. I definitely want to have a special someday, but I'm like, did I just do this so that I could write TV? And if I did, do I want to keep doing? Do you know what I mean? When you got to be writing TV, did it make you less motivated to do stand up, or were you I have
Yes.
to get back out there?
No, it made me so much less motivated that I kind of stopped doing it for a couple of
Mm.
years. And
Yeah.
I am not going to make that mistake ever again, because
Really?
then the
Yeah.
next time, I got up on stage, I was really like, whoa. And
Yeah.
all the stuff that you learned and all the experience started to melt away. So, it's like a muscle, use it
Yeah.
or lose it. And I just felt like, I gotta keep doing it, But I mean, Pat, you have so many, such good writing jobs. The fact I think that you still keep doing stand-up shows that you
I
still
know.
love doing it.
I
And
know.
you're
I
so
think
good
I
at it, and
must.
you can't stop.
I know. I don't want to. I don't want to stop. I really this year want to do a special. I'm touring a little bit over the summer, and I'm I really want to use it because I'm too afraid to do my hour in New York and LA anymore because I'm they all know the joke. I've just done those jokes for so long in front of those people. I'm y'all can't hear it until it's on TV. But I'm gonna try to use my. I've always had such a weird relationship with touring too because I'm it's never been cultivated. I'm always what hour should I do to these people in Tucson that I think they'll think is funny, and I want to be more intentional and pretend each one is what if I had to take my hour tonight? You know what I mean? And really try to run through it or whatever. So that'll be a funner goal, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about you, Kat? How often do you do stand-up?
Most nights or a couple times a week, definitely. That's what
Wow.
I do. I do a show
Mhm.
every week. Yeah, and I tour, and that's
Here are 2 specials.
I have
Two specials? That's
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch
fantastic.
them.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Yes.
Yes, you
You'll
have to watch them.
watch the
You'll
one
love
on
them,
Netflix
Carol.
because
How
I
do
sing
I
in it,
find
Carol.
them? How do I find them?
Pat will send you, but there's one
I'll
on
send you,
Netflix
yeah.
Okay.
called The Twist. She's gorgeous. That's the
Yeah.
first
Ah.
one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but so I'm working on the third one right now, and I'm gonna
That's
go.
That's amazing.
Thank you. But I really
Yeah.
want to do more film and TV stuff. But I'm in New York, and I feel similarly, most of our peers have moved to LA, even though I don't think it's necessary as much as
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was because so
right.
much is online. All my auditions are Zooms. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Can't believe it. That
It's
is the
such a bummer
worst.
because I love going into the room.
I know. I do
Yes.
think self-tape culture has to end.
It
It's I
really
don't think they
should.
realize what they're putting us through.
I have
Yeah.
had, since the pandemic ended, I've had 3 or 4 in-person 5 years, 3 or 4 in-person auditions.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And and I know from being on shows, like when I worked on Curb Your Enthusiasm, on this last season, I remember just talking to this actor who, was on, and I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Carol Leifer, I'm one of the writers. And I was like, yeah, it's great. You got this part on Curb. But he was like, yeah, it's my first time on camera.
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, and then he did the scene and he was so bad. And everybody said, "Oh, his tape was so great." And it's like
Yeah.
they would have felt it in the room for sure.
Damn,
Yes. But so do
100%.
they have to like, but it's like obviously Curb, it's so improvised. So it's like, how do you even audition for that? Like, do you say what you're going to say in the
Yeah, when
thing?
people would come in, which I think was so much better,
Yeah.
they'd tell them what the scene was about, and Larry would get up and improvise with them.
Oh, that's
Wow. Oh
heaven.
my
That's so
God.
cool.
I know. So
No.
even if he didn't get the part, it was like, oh, just spend 5 minutes doing
Yeah, for
improv with Larry
real.
David.
Carol,
Yeah.
one of my best friends from childhood played the Disney girl on this last season.
Oh my God. Oh, I loved her. She's
Stephanie,
a
yeah.
Broadway. Yes.
Isn't she amazing? She was so
She
good.
What if
is
you're-
amazing.
What if your best
Yeah.
friend from Hollywood, from childhood, turned out to be the person who did so bad?
No, I was like, she was the one you hated. She was the one you hated.
Oh, her. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she was cool. She brought a unique energy to the space.
I could have benefited from an in-person audition.
But Stephanie was unusually good. She was like, everybody was talking about how
Yes.
amazing she was.
So when you got that, so to go back to in time, did you feel like when you did Seinfeld write in LA or New York?
In LA.
And did you feel like a true Hollywood it girl at that point, writing on like the biggest show ever?
It was kind of when I started, it was the next year that it kind of became the big hit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll take all credit for that. No, it was still, it was also of a different time where I wasn't there when it first started, but the lore is that when it started, it had shitty ratings and it really was not doing well. And now it'd be yanked in 2 seconds. But at that
Yeah.
time, people at the network believed in the show, so they kept it on.
Can you imagine
how
people
nice.
believing? Can you
Yeah.
imagine anyone believing in anything interesting?
But it was very cool to get that job.
And were you
For
dating?
sure.
Were you dating? Did you have boyfriends?
I did have boyfriends then. Yes.
Yeah.
Were you a
I
party
did.
girl?
Yeah. I had a
Oh.
pretty crazy party life.
Really?
Seems
What-
so bizarre to me now. But
Really?
I was young and I did
Yeah.
crazy drug things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And now you still are kind of a woman about town. Like you're very like I feel like always at a dinner.
I'm at a dinner. I'm at a thing. I'm at an event. I like to be out and about.
Right.
Yes.
Wait, so to finish
Yes.
your daily routine,
Yeah.
we're back at the Today Show. You're watching, and then you turn on the news, the LA. You're hearing the entertainment news,
Right.
and then I assume what's next? Writing or
Then
what?
my wife and I have some coffee together. We
Gorgeous.
have
Oh,
a little
that's so
coffee.
nice.
You gotta
Wait.
put that first. You gotta put that love first.
Well, this is what we actually have to know. This is the real $1 million.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
Yeah.
This year is going to be 29 years.
And
Wow.
what is like the secret? Literally.
Here's the secret. And this is a big secret, but I'm going to tell you two because
Please. Okay, good. We'll
I
cut this out. We'll
saved
cut
it
this
for
out.
this podcast specifically.
And thank you.
Here it goes. Nobody is everything.
Yeah.
Nobody is everything. You won't see it in a Hallmark card. That's for sure.
You should make a homework card that says you're not everything, but I like you.
That is really
And
good.
yeah, my jokes weren't terrible. You open
Yeah.
that in a
Yeah.
card. What I mean, of course, is that sometimes, your partner, your life partner, fulfills a lot of things, mostly love. You love them, you care about them. But like, when I want to be with my comedy friends, when I feel like I go to my comedy friends. When she wants to dish the dirt with her Brentwood friends, they all
Yeah.
get together and they all,
Yeah.
coffee clutch. But so we don't share a lot of the same interests, but that's okay. But I feel like in
Yeah.
a lot of relationships, people feel like we have to love every
I
single
know.
thing the same. No.
Totally.
I know.
No.
Well, that's what you think about people. It's like, it's interesting. It seems like such a fine line because it's like, obviously when it's like you're so together that you like meld, like
Yes.
that becomes like bizarre and like oh my God, get me out of here.
Mhm.
But then also like when you're living like separate lives, that feels like there's disconnection. It's like, it feels like it's such a balance.
It is totally a balance. I mean, at the same time, I do feel like if I got a job in New York writing and being away from my wife and our son, I
How
don't
old's
think
your
that's good
son?
for a relationship. Our son is 18.
Oh my God. What's he
Yeah.
like? What's he into?
He's great. He's a senior in high school, so he's graduating.
And does he know where he's going?
Not yet. We're still, that's the other thing that's different from when I was going to college. It's kind of like rolling
Yeah.
admissions.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like you
so
start here.
intense. Yeah.
But he's really come into his own in this last year. Like, he loves playing golf. Of course, my wife,
Cool.
Lori, got him into playing golf, the
Yeah, she's a
official
big
sport
golfer.
of lesbians. And he loves the Buffalo Bills. He's really into football. He didn't get that from me. And he has a girlfriend.
Does
And
he?
yeah.
So
And
you
Wow.
approve? Do you approve?
oh, we do. She's great.
Great.
She's really terrific. And they're going to the prom this Sunday. So it's very cool to see him. He's funny. He's always been funny. Like, when he was young, we went to see Hello, Dolly on Broadway with Bette Midler, and he loved it. And I know Bette Midler casually. We got to go backstage. You got to meet her. We took a picture, blah, blah, blah. So we saw that Hello, Dolly was going to be at the Pantages with Betty Buckley. And so we said, well, we got to get tickets to go see her. So we took him, and about 10 minutes into the show, he just turns to me and he goes, "She ain't funny, Mommy."
That's so funny.
Yeah. So maybe we should cut that out because it's a diss on Betty Buckley and she'll be mad at me. But
No, it's a celebration. It's funny. I went to a friend's had a birthday dinner at like a Korean barbecue place downtown, and I went, and 2 tables over was Bette Midler.
Oh, wow.
Major.
It was Major
Major.
Leisure, and it was an emotionally loaded dinner.
Oh,
And
so
that's
he was
all-
there during that event.
Yeah.
She
You
was
know
there
her.
to-
You know her daughter's a dear friend.
And you know what I was
And you know
experiencing during
that.
that event.
Oh,
your her daughter. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Sophie, shout out to
Right.
Sophie. I love you, girl. I love
Yes.
you, girl.
Is she acting?
Yeah. Acting, and
Nice.
producing, writing, all of it. Yeah.
Oh,
She's the
that's
best.
great. Now, when
No.
you see a famous person,
Yeah.
each of you, are you inclined to go over or no?
Carol, I'm
Yes.
running away. I'm
You
running away as fast
are?
as I can. I'm
Oh.
saying I'll meet them if the good Lord up above intends.
Yes.
As a peer.
I
Like,
know.
well,
I know.
Really? Wow.
Vanessa Bayer came on the. Oh, did Catherine just disappear for you?
She ran away.
Oh, you're back. When Vanessa Bayer came on,
your star power repelled me. Hold on.
when Vanessa Bayer came on the podcast, she said, she had been in the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they said she could meet, I forget who, some celebrity, and she said, I would like to meet them later as a peer, and that's also kind of how I feel. But I like, it depends on the celebrity. I've told this on the podcast already, but I was out to dinner a few weeks ago, and Beyonce and Jay-Z walked in, which was
Oh my
crazy.
God.
So obviously I'm like not saying hello to them.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anyone I would say hello to. And in fact, to the point of like, even if like there's people who I've worked on the same thing as, and I'm not sure if they know me, but they're famous, and I'm not gonna like, to the point of I think I've snubbed people that I should have said hello to because I don't want to be that person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You missed the most important part of the Jay-Z and Beyonce story. Where did you see them? I mean, you're not going to say Cafe Aroma.
No, it was Antico.
I don't
Antico
know that.
Nuovo. It's in
Oh.
Hollywood. It's like very small Italian. But the reason I left it out,
Oh, she.
literally the reason I left out is this, because the last time I said it was to a group of gay men, and I pronounced it wrong. And one of the gay guys probably was like, I pronounce it this way, but I'm sure it could be either way. And it's like, obviously the way he said was correct. And I was like, I pronounced it wrong. So I'm like, I'm never saying that word again.
How did you miss Antico?
I must have said Antico or something. I think it's Antico, or is it Antico and it's Antico? Like, I don't.
Antico?
Antico, maybe. Yeah, like, I don't know. I did.
Me just trying. I'm like, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this, guys.
I did
But
my
what's
best.
important is the bolognese good. That's all we care about. Come on.
I didn't have that. I remember being very, very full and like the pasta was good. And I think it's meant to be a good restaurant. But then I actually heard this behind the scenes story, which is that apparently during COVID, it was like, I guess, in vogue for like celebrities to like poach the sous chefs from their favorite restaurants to cook for them privately during like lockdown. So Beyonce and Jay-Z, I guess that's one of their favorite restaurants, and they had poached the sous chef who works for them. So it's like a little bit acrimonious, I think, but they still go to be like, we still love you guys, like even though we can have this at home whenever we want. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Rihanna always goes to Giorgio Baldi. It's like her cafeteria. She's there every other second.
You guys, no one freak out. I'm leaving and coming back, so my mic reconnects. No one freak out. Love you, love you, love you, I love you. No one freak out.
Okay. I'm freaking out.
I know. We can keep going. It's very casual. We usually just like to keep going. Wait, so what are you up to today?
Well, selling my book.
Right. So have you been doing crazy tour, like
I
promo
have.
touring?
It's been great, though. I went to New York. I did Kelly Clarkson. I did
Oh yeah, wait!
bunch of shows.
I saw you on Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, you did?
Well, I just saw you on Instagram.
Yes.
Was that
And
so
just
fun?
like, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
We were just talking about book touring and stuff.
Yeah.
Where's next?
Well, I'm finding, as you will be happy to know, it's really not the TV that much that sells books. It's really people's podcasts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I did Conan's podcast, which is really huge. I did, Sean Hayes,
Nice.
David Spade, and oh my God, Dana Carvey's podcast, Fly on the Wall. Mark Maron. I went out to do that.
You did?
Yesterday.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
all the hits and Seek Treatment, if you can believe it.
Yes, Seek Treatment. I'm going to see a spike in my book sales. Like you
I
would not
made
believe.
that big Seek Treatment bump.
Oh my God.
So can I ask, like, back to your life story?
Yes.
You're thriving in your career. How did you navigate, like, trying to have a personal life with your career? And when you got to a certain point in your career, did you ever feel like it was enough, or do you just always want more?
You mean with career stuff, always want more, or personal life?
Well, I guess both.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the time I met Lori, I had been dating men, but it wasn't working for a while. I just
That's the alt title for my book.
with the dating men, or it wasn't working for a while.
I've been dating men and it wasn't. I've been dating men and it wasn't working for a while.
Yes, I love that too. God, you're so good at this stuff.
Well, you just keep giving him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not. And then I just had this hankering. I was like, I said to my gay friends, David and Bob, I was like, I really want to have sex with a woman.
Really? But why did it work? Had you been thinking about it, or it just kind of came about one day?
I had been thinking about it, but what was odd was I had had sex once before with a woman and a guy. And
oh my God.
Yeah, I really thought that, maybe, I don't know. I just wasn't, it was interesting, but it wasn't like, aha, oh my God, I'm so into this woman. But, and then I went to this Project Angel Food event and with my friends David and Bob, and I sat across from Lori, and she's so pretty and attractive, but she was with a date, and they were being very affectionate, which is also a turn on. And after the event, I said to my friends, boy, I really like that Lori. Like, could you kind of swing something for me there? And my friend David went to Lori and said, my friend Carol was kind of interested in you. And she was like, I'm not going to be some experiment for some straight woman.
Wow.
Well, did he tell her about the three-way?
Well, that was years ago. So,
he has an amazing resume, Lori.
Yeah. She tried it before and it didn't stick. So maybe it will.
Yeah.
So she stood her lesbian ground. And but then, she called me, wanted to play golf. And
there we go.
we got together.
Gateway drug.
But she still didn't really get it because when we went to lunch after, she was like, "Oh, I know a million guys I could set you up with," and I was like, "No, wrong
Lori.
way, go back, no."
Wow.
Oh my
So
God.
eventually, she just invited me to this. She was working at corporate real estate, and she invited me to some Beverly Hills big to do. And it just got flirty, and from then on,
Yeah.
we've been
Wow.
together.
And whatever happened to the girl she was on a date with the first night? She just kind of
They were having problems at that point, which I was
yeah.
confused by the
Yeah.
affectionate and being all over each other, but that happens, as you know.
Totally. Totally.
So no, she ditched her. She seemed to be a problem.
Yeah. She seemed to be a problem.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah.
Bye.
She found out I'm a problem too, but
I know.
what the hell? You always have a problem.
Do you think? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And then
yeah.
the next segment is, of course, who are you now?
Who am I now? I am much more. Well, I still love being funny and creative. I mean, that really is my jam. And also to be in a room of funny people
There's nothing like it.
is so fantastic.
Yeah.
I just live for it, especially because I feel like comedians, funny people, we speak the same language. It's like if you went over to Italy and you were just with Italian speaking friends and they don't speak English very well. And then somebody comes over from America and you're like, oh my God, somebody I can talk to. I need it. And I always feel that way with comedians, with funny people. There's just a certain kind of, we all have the kind of same gene that connects.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I still love that. I still love working when a lot of people my age, my experience.
Your tax bracket, to be quite frank.
Say it, Carol. When you don't need to work. When you don't need.
Well, no, I got a son going to college. I need to work.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
That's true.
But I feel like I'm definitely, like I was saying, earlier, I'm less spontaneous as a person just because when you become a parent, when you become older, like people are like, hey, maybe we should go try skiing. I'm like, I'm not trying skiing at my age. That's not going to happen.
Fuck off. If someone says, let's try skiing, you fuck off. You say fuck off right now.
No, I might learn mahjong. That's within my world.
Yeah.
But I'm not going skiing or going on a zip line or anything that could potentially end my life with something.
Your next book should be called I'm Not Going Skiing.
That is really good.
I love that, Pat. Oh
I
my
know.
God, you are just genius.
You guys should co-write the book.
Carol, one time the last time we had dinner, you told me I always think about, which is that one of the most important things when you're writing a book is to have a funny title.
Yes, you need a funny title. It's very important because when I do speaking engagements, you get a leg up when they say, and she's here to talk about her new book, and you say a funny title, then they're like, oh yeah.
I have that little laugh, that exact laugh gets you so far in this world. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like, oh yeah.
Yes, it does.
Well, Pat, what was the title we like so much for you?
There was one about professionally interesting.
Yeah, professionally interesting.
Yeah.
Professionally interesting, that's good. I did think of a book title for our son, which is Why Don't You Like Salad? He will not eat a salad for
Really? Salad's my favorite food. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
That's crazy to say though, Pat.
I know it.
Salad's my favorite food.
Never forget.
You're not gonna get a chuckle over that. You're not gonna
never
get the
forget
chuckle.
when Benito Skinner came on this podcast in 2019 and said salmon was his favorite food.
Shout out to overcompensating Benito Skinner. We have to say that we're still shook by that answer.
But I get it, because I've never met a kale salad I didn't like.
Totally. I mean,
Right?
it's amazing. With the right.
You're not in the.
No, I think sometimes they don't massage it enough. I think sometimes it's too.
Yeah, well, you could
Yes.
say that about any dish. Any dish can be prepared poorly. I mean, my real favorite food is cheeseburger, and my second favorite food is like a really good salad or sandwich.
I think a burglar just came into Kat's
No,
apartment.
fully. I was like, the building's on fire next door.
Now, wait, I just have one more
Excuse
thing
me.
to say, but I can't remember it.
But I wanted to hear, and who do you,
Yeah.
I guess your dream is to not go skiing. Who do you want to be? I mean, all your professional dreams, they must feel like they've all come true.
No, they haven't because and I remember talking about this in the Hacks room. I mean, I'd still like to be in a Broadway play.
Oh, you have to
let's
be.
make it happen.
Yeah, you have
But
to.
a very big but, asterisk, a small part that comes in, gets laughs,
Yes.
and gets off. I could
Totally.
never
Totally.
be, I'm not going to be starring in a Broadway show, but it goes back to my love of sitting in the audience. I really want to be in a show like that. Like I just saw Smash that my friends
Oh, I can't.
Mark
I heard it's
Shaman,
so fun.
and Scott Whitman wrote. And there's a part that this woman plays of a Marilyn Monroe's method acting teacher, and she just comes in, she gets the biggest laughs, and
Yeah.
and it's just like that's the part that I really want.
Totally.
Yeah.
I bet that will happen.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And now we have a segment called We End with do you have a crush of the week? It could be any person, place, or thing. I'll say mine is my new apartment because it is good. I'm like, it's
How was the move?
the move was good. It's funny, you know what's been happening is like it's more rent than I've ever paid, and I'm like feeling stressed financially, and like
Of course.
but that's just like because there's been a change, and it's like because of my past journey, I'm like I will be destitute and houseless tomorrow, but like
right.
it will be fine. I'm just like I'm
You're working nonstop.
yeah, but for some reason, well, here's the other thing.
Well, first of all, they take all your money.
You don't get a
They
cent
don't
of it.
get-
You don't get a you
Girl
don't get
knows. Girl knows.
You
I
don't
swear to
get
God, this fucking
a
town.
cent of it. If I was making the money they tell me I'm making, it would be easy breezy
Honey.
beautiful. But I get
I know.
$1. I get $1 every year is how much money I make.
Oh, guess what? I got a SAG-AFTRA direct deposit last week for, I'm not kidding, 2 cents.
Oh
Here's my 2 cents.
my God.
Here's my 2 cents.
Meanwhile, I've actually found out I'm owed an enormous amount of money in residuals that they will not return my emails about, and I don't think I'm going to get it because I
Wait,
moved.
I've heard about
Through the
this.
W-
I've heard about this.
through the guild because they're
Through the
usually
guild,
very
so basi-
good on that.
I think, but you know what? I'm in East, and everyone's like West is better, and East won't let me change. So it's like, I think they're just like bad, and that's why I don't know. It's like I moved like pretty early in my writing career, and residuals have to be mailed to you physically, and so it's like they all went to like my ex's apartment, who by the way I reconnected with during my spiral yesterday about finances because I realized I've been paying for his Verizon bill for 3 years.
Oh my
So
God.
I was like,
I just saw him last weekend.
Well, then he,
I just
well,
saw
then he
him.
said that. I
He
said
didn't mention it. He didn't
well,
mention
that's what's
it.
funny is he did
Wow.
mention it, and I thought to myself, well, Catherine didn't mention that. He was like, I saw Catherine.
Oh.
Because then we were
I didn't
back
think it
to-
was worth mentioning,
I know.
to be honest.
Totally,
Did you
it's
give
not.
him the bill and say, can you hear me
No.
now? Pay this fucking bill?
I didn't.
You came up with that, right? That was your work.
I didn't like. I don't need the money back, but I'm like, I can't keep paying it anymore. But
Yeah.
so then I'm.
No, he needs to pay you
Yeah.
back.
Needs to pay
I'm
you
not-
back.
It's not like it's been. It goes back to how our relationship was. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's got to change. I'm
I
going
know.
to talk to him. I'm
Hey,
so
yeah.
incensed by this.
He offered. I said
Oh.
I said no, thank you. Like I just. But
That's
of
crazy.
course-
I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Of course, I'm on the chat bot with Verizon. I go, and I also because I'm like I could just put in his payment information, but it's under my name. I'm like, God forbid something happens. Like, but if it's like affects my credit somehow, so I'm like, I'm like to the chat bot. I need to switch the name of the person. The chat bot goes, we're gonna need to do a 3-way call.
A
No.
three-way. Now we're back to
It
me.
all starts with the freeway.
Yes.
I'm gonna get my door.
Now
My
we're
door's buzzing.
back
Hold
to
on, no one
me.
freak out.
Okay, Carol, do you have a crush of the week?
My
It could be
door's
anything
buzzing.
you want.
Crush of the week. You know, I have a thing for Glenn Powell.
Oh, do you? You know, he
I
doesn't
do.
do it for me. I think Catherine
Really?
likes him. He doesn't do it for me sexually.
What'd you say?
Glenn
Glenn
Powell.
Powell.
That's your crush.
But
for the
you
week.
famously don't like guys that are too muscular or
I
like.
don't.
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like him sexually, but I like his like energy and his vibe.
Yeah, like, are you guys familiar with David Bautista?
The wrestler
No.
is
Yeah, yeah.
he? Oh no, I'm thinking of Bautista. Bautista.
Oh, Bautista.
Is it that?
I don't like that, but I mentioned him because I was doing some decluttering in old files, and when we were living in our realtor's house waiting for something to rent, um, I found this note that was like, one of your dogs bit my friend. We called animal control to report the incident. If you want to call my friend regarding the incident, his phone number is blah, blah, blah. And it's signed David Bautista.
Oh
And I
my
was like, oh my God, I can't believe this big, he was part of our lives. Like
That
this,
is so crazy.
and this is like 15 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. But
Oh.
let's get back to Glenn Powell.
But you once said, because you used to say you don't like when someone's so muscular that
No.
their abs look like challah bread.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is the funniest
Yeah.
and
I
most
think about that all
accurate
the
thing
time.
I've ever
That is
heard.
Carol
When the
Leiferism.
whole thing is a
Challah
walking
abs.
challah. Yes. No.
That's Pat's
bad.
exact type.
But don't a lot of gay men like very built up guys, right?
Yeah, and I would say I can be guilty of that. Any aspersions may be cast. I don't know. It's something about I don't know. I don't have a strict anything. Like I'm actually completely banana, and I'm also potentially just like I'm not interested in anything anymore. Like I'm just like
Totally.
no, I'm just done. I really am. But I'm like, but yeah, of course it's porny. It's like whatever. But I'm not attracted to Glenn Powell for some reason.
Wow.
My crush of the week has got to be. Oh my God. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Well, I was really onto my hot yoga kick, but then I gave myself frostbite yesterday. I gave myself. I like tweaked a muscle, and so I was icing it, and then I kind of like zoned out watching Housewives, and then I took the ice pack off. My skin is inflamed with these crazy hives, and then it's this crazy red rash. And then last night I'm Googling it, and I'm like, Brian, my boyfriend, I was like, it says I have frostbite. He's like, I actually can't even get involved at this point. Like, you're so crazy. He's like in tears laughing. He's like, how in April in New York City
Yes.
did you give yourself frostbite? My crush of the week is chaos and hot yoga.
Oh, can I ask you about hot yoga? Because I used to do it when it was Bikram, but
Yeah.
now they do it like just hot yoga, no Bikram because of the trouble.
Right, because of what happened.
Yeah.
What
Because of
happened?
the
Somebody got
troubles.
hurt?
Bikram like assaulted a bunch of
Oh,
women.
I didn't know that was a person. I thought it was just a style.
There's a documentary I didn't watch, but yeah,
Wow.
apparently he's
I
bad.
watched it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, let's just say it was.
He was
some
America's
hot
dad.
yoga.
Cut that.
America's dad. Yoga's dad.
I've been doing core power yoga. Do you ever go to that?
I think I tried it once. Wow, it was hard.
It's extremely hard, but I'm okay with like not doing everything.
I'm
Do
serious.
you know what I mean though? Like
yeah.
sometimes they'll say to do something, I'll just like stand there for a second. I'm like, I don't need to do
Okay,
everything.
maybe when you'll come, we'll try Mode yoga because people love that
I'd love
here.
to.
People
I'd love to do
here.
that. I'd love to do that.
See, that could be another
But it
book
was-
title. Pat.
What? What?
Well,
Which one?
it's a little long, but when I don't feel like doing a pose, I just stand there.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and
It
then
was funny too because the last thing I'll say, the instructor, she was kind of like making eye contact with me, and I was like, "You're not going to intimidate me into like hurting myself."
there
I was
you
just like, "I'm
go.
standing here."
Right.
I could tell I was older than her. I was like,
Yeah,
"You'll know
don't-
when you're my age."
yeah.
I like that
back it up,
attitude.
sweetie.
And you were like, you better pay me for that Verizon bill too, bitch.
For real.
I know that's another book title. You'll know when you're my age.
You'll know when you're. All right. So, do y'all feel hot today?
Yeah, I don't feel hot today. I woke up, it's my day off the gym. I'm like, I just felt really almost on the I feel like on the edge of being sick, and
Oh, horrible.
so we'll see. I've been writing a lot, which always makes me feel a little bit hot because it's like, especially in my office, I'm like,
That's
you know what I
amazing.
mean? I'm working.
Now you have a change. You're so lucky you have a change of scenery. That's heaven.
Totally. I'm wiping out.
Imagine that. Imagine this. Imagine trying to work
I,
here. I
I-
can't.
well, I've wiped my whole slate clean, so my life is completely empty in a way that I think I need it to be. What about you? Do you feel hot today?
Yeah, because I finally slept well, but that's boring. Carol, do you feel hot today?
I don't because I had my annual physical.
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And if you,
What'd they say?
well, it's one of these things where we'll get the results, in 2 weeks of all that stuff. And then I'm
Yeah.
on the phone for like an hour talking about my B12 and my
Yeah.
cookie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I probably talked about this in the room. We affectionately or disaffectionately call my doctor doom and gloom because he is so, anything you bring up, it's like, I was a little hesitant to get this shingles vaccine. And he was like, well, Carol, if you want me to send you a picture of someone with shingles in their eye, what's your email? I'll send that to you.
That is so crazy. That's amazing.
What's your email? I want to email you a picture of someone with shingles in their
Yes,
eye.
yes.
I like that. I like that.
Well, I
energy.
don't know. I had a physical like 2 weeks ago, and I just got a result on Friday night through my portal that was like abnormalities.
Of course. It's all,
And
yeah,
they
but it's
didn't
always
call me,
fine.
but then I had to message him and be like, hey, I saw that it's a diagnosis in all capital red letters, then nothing underneath it. And I was like, is this something to be concerned about? And he was like, no, we'll just check it again in a year. I was like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But whatever.
when they say check it in a year, I find they're not very concerned.
I know he's not concerned, but I just mean like, I'm like, email me something. I'm like, whatever. If this is HPV, email me a picture of someone with HPV in their eye, just so I know you care.
No, literally, like when I did this show, Better Late Than Never, where we traveled abroad, Asia and China. Asia and Europe.
Yeah.
With Terry Bradshaw and Henry Rica. Anyway, they wanted us to get this vaccine, and nobody on the crew or writing staff was going to get it. And then I mentioned it to Doom and Gloom, and he was like, no, don't get it. If you want to get dengue fever, Carol, and then he'd send I'm happy to send you a picture of someone with dengue fever, so he is very, he's very adamant about the things, obviously, he wants you to do. And dengue fever is not something that you want. Boogie fever,
keep that
on
in
the
mind.
other hand, is a good fever.
The only good fever. Okay, and we always ask at the end, are you mad at me? Are you
Are you mad at me because I had to leave and come back?
not at all?
No, not at all.
Okay. And then I had to answer my door. Remember that? That was crazy, Carol.
Carol, are you mad at me because of the tech forward setup of our podcast?
No, you were very patient. I mean, when I can't, log on to something or, I didn't even know how to get into the chat on hacks. I didn't know how
But
to
look at
do
us
it. And I
now.
was too afraid to tell people that
Oh
I
my
didn't know how
God.
to get in the chat.
So funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, the things you find
my
out
God.
about people who are technically challenged like that, techno challenge. No,
Yeah.
you're very patient with me. I appreciate that. Kat, I did not take it personally for a second that you got up.
Thank God.
Not for a second. If you did without saying, don't freak out, I'm getting up, it might have been a different story. But no, it was a lovely exit.
I like to preface everything with, maybe that's my book title, Don't Freak Out.
Don't freak out would work. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It was really fun.
So nice to chat
Really,
with you.
really fun. I had a great time.
And everyone must
Everyone
go
buy
buy
Carol's
Carol's
Buy my
book.
book. Oh, do I have a copy that I'm holding
Let's
up?
see it.
Oh my God.
Yes.
How to write
I mean,
funny speech
genius.
for
I love
wedding,
the
bar
cover,
mitzvah,
too.
graduation, and every other event you didn't want to go to
That's
on
a
the
great
first place.
gift as well.
It's great
Yeah.
because it's graduation season and wedding season right around the corner. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Do not get caught with your pants
y'all
down.
should get a copy for everyone in your bridal party.
Yes.
All your
Exactly.
bridesmaids.
Yes,
Anyone who's
Kat.
at risk of giving
All
it.
your random cousins.
Right.
Give
Yes.
it to them.
You don't want a bad event, and a bad speech can ruin your event. Do it as a precaution, if not just for the joy of it.
Exactly. You don't want to get dengue fever by
No.
not.
And you don't
No, and
want us
going-
to send you a picture
Yeah.
of an eye.
I'll send me pictures of people with dengue fever that have my book because
Yes.
it'll cure it right up.
In their eye. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank
Carol.
you,
Thank
guys.
you so
Bye,
much.
Carol. Thank you so much
Mwah.
for doing it. It was so much fun. It was so good to chat.
Treatment. If you're boring as fuck, seek treatment. If you're unlucky in love, seek treatment.
That was a Headgum podcast.